Welcome, everybody, to the Wise Men Say podcast, a Columbus soccer podcast on Yamo Media. My name is Tyler Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. Jerald, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah?
Great weekend for some soccer. Excited for this weekend coming up.
Yeah. Getting right into it, an exciting weekend except for soccer. FC Columbus just absolutely did their thing against the FC Milwaukee Torrent. Damani Kamara is one of those guys, is always there. But before we get into that, check out these highlights from their 3-0 win over Milwaukee Torrent.
Gase turns, finds Chilton over. Can Chilton get it in? And it's a goal for Columbus. Michael Chilton. Weber. Into the top corner it is. Finds Kamara, top of the box. Kamara! Damani Kamara! Kamara. Shot taken into the net! Damani Kamara! His second goal of the game! 5 in 2 games, and Damani Kamara!
What I say about that, huh? A 3-1 win for FC Columbus. Damani Kamara with his 5 goals in 2 games. He scored a second and third goal. That free kick, though, that last free kick, absolutely just 2 steps and then top bins upper 90. That was actually an amazing goal.
I mean, as you can see, it just keeper had no chance.
Oh yeah, no way.
No chance.
He I mean, you saw he stood still too.
Yeah.
This is like, here's what happened with that. Okay, excuse me. So Kamara, he's battling 2 people inside of the box, right? He gets taken down inside of the box. Should be a penalty. Referee says it's outside of the box. Okay, whatever.
You know how I am with refs.
I mean, everybody is, but. And like I'm on the broadcast, obviously. Shout out to yours truly for those calls. I was like, I think he's inside the box, and I see the replay. I'm like, he's definitely inside the box, but of course, I don't have a say in what happens. It's the referee's decision. So he said it's outside the box. Kamara took 2 steps back, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking he's going to rip this either high or hit somebody's face. I couldn't see the way that the wall was set up, but obviously it was set up the wrong way because he picked out that top right-hand corner to the keeper's right and just absolutely nailed it.
But it also looked like there was a little bit of a deflection from, seeing on the video. It looked like,
I don't know.
It could have slightly, brushed somebody's head.
Probably.
And
they did jump.
It,
curved
it that way.
Yep.
So, remarkable player. It looked like he froze the keeper, though, with that stutter step.
Yeah.
That stutter step froze him in his tracks. And, what more can you say? When a keeper's frozen, there's nothing else you could do.
Yeah.
Except for pray that he misses it wide left or right.
Now, there's also one thing that I have to say I thought was actually – it went from why – did you do that? And I still don't know why. To kind of a funny thing. Carrion was the Milwaukee Torrent goal scorer. That first free kick that you saw after Michael Chilton's opening goal made it 1-1. So after he scores, he runs over to the ball kids and literally just sits there and he does like this to the ball kids. He starts chatting. And I'm like, he runs over to the ball kids. And I thought they had a cameraman there. And I thought he was going over there, and he didn't. You see the ball kid start talking back or whatnot. Every time that he touched the ball, Carrion, he got booed by the fans.
Love it.
He got booed by the fans. Like, well, he's not exchanging anybody's social medias after the game. No. I'm like, they're not. Nobody's going to ask him out to have a. I didn't say it, but I stopped myself. I was like, hey, he's not going to ask for a drink for anybody. Or whatnot after the game, but
the villain of the match.
Oh yeah, by far. But Damani Kamara, 5 goals in 2 games.
We talked about it before. I said the last name Kamara here in the city of Columbus.
Yeah.
Soccer, greats. JT. Who's the other one? Kai.
Ola.
Out of Columbus.
Yep.
Can make spectacular shots, plays with their feet, with bending the ball. It's a spectacle. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what you're going to get with them when they got the ball.
Oh yeah. Actually, I couldn't find it before, but Damani Kamara is currently in 8th for goals scored.
Really?
He didn't start the season.
Gotcha.
With FC Columbus. He came later on during the season. They still have a couple games left. But yeah, he has 6 goals in 4 games played. He averages about 1.5 goals per game. But it's just, man, that guy is absolutely insane. But what more can he do? Stopping a guy like that.
You can't.
Exactly. FC Columbus, they currently sit in 2nd in the Great Lakes division. Obviously, you got to build, got to keep winning games to get that, to get that first place in order to make the playoffs. Obviously, sometimes, results don't go your way, but they are they are just 3 points off of first, but behind the Muskegon Risers. So a win and a Risers loss or tie can easily put Columbus in first place.
I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Do they play this weekend?
I don't think so. Columbus travels to Milwaukee, but they do play at the end of the season.
Gotcha.
It's a home-and-home series.
So they get a little bit of a rest for real quick.
Yep.
Oh, Friday. So that's
my little baby out of the way.
That's your little baby.
And now we get to Jerald. This is one of Jerald's favorite things to talk about. Obviously, is Columbus Crew 2, and it's because of how I think it's definitely how underrated that they are.
You're absolutely right. So I see your 5 goals from Kamara with FC Columbus, and I'm gonna raise you 9 goals with Jason Russell Rowe with Columbus Crew 2.
That's crazy.
So we're talking about the Columbus Crew 2. The whole league itself is underrated. They did play on Thursday against Inter Miami 2, the Pinks. Who? The All Pinks.
Oh, okay. I just call them the Flamingos or whatnot.
I mean, you could call them that or the Miami Beckhams.
Give or take.
But they that was the same team that they lost to 2-0 in the season opener down there in Miami. So to bring them in to Historical Crew Stadium on a Thursday night, it was a revenge tour. And honestly, and right now there's only one other team that, they're looking for revenge for, and that's coming up here in a couple weeks. But Columbus Crew did, play against Inter Miami, and it started off 2-0 at halftime. Noah Fusen, got on the board early, and so did Jason Russell Rowe. It was sort of like back-to-back, them scoring. And then just that second half, I don't know what was said, but they just came out and looked like they were playing Little League. Just all the fun that they were having. And even
obviously, if they scored 5, they must have had some type of fun.
So Jason Russell Rowe, 8 games played this year, 9 goals, tied for first for the Golden Boot in MLS Next Pro. I mean, it was just a fun game. Noah Fusen got his 6th goal of the season as well. A couple 16-year-olds, Borneo and I cannot remember the other one off the top of my head, but 2 players from Columbus's academy, came into the game on Thursday. So big debut for them. Another first goal of the season. Aiden Wolf, goal and assist. Exciting young kid. That goal outside of the box. That just was.
That was like Darlington Nagby-esque.
It really was. It was a fire, and it was off of a corner. So, and then Justin Malou got his first goal of the season with a header, which looked like the captain Jonathan Mensah out there. But it was a fun game, and not only for the players but for the fans.
Yeah.
And if everybody knows about Inter Miami, yes, David Beckham does, I believe, own half the team. But
he owns the team.
Well,
he's like majority owner
yeah.
of the team, we'll say.
So his son plays for Inter Miami too, and you got your fans that hackle, players, and it just was funny.
Don't all fans though?
Yeah, especially ones that are not used to winning. But the way that the fans actually harassed Beckham's son and singing Spice Girls, it was hilarious. You could hear it all the way up to the box. And it was just like, it was epic. So I think this year with Next Pro being the inaugural season for it, it is underrated, but you're seeing more and more fans come out.
Yeah. And
I've had some fans out there that was there that said that this is fun to watch. This is soccer. And, Coach Laurent he's a good fit, as the head coach for that team.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way that he talks and the way that he prepares the guys. We saw it after the loss to the Rhinos. I want them to feel it. Keep that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. Boy, did they ever.
What happened? They came out against Chicago 4-2.
Yep.
After giving up 2 goals in the first 21 minutes in Chicago, came out of half, boom, 4 goals straight. Came out, clean sheet, 5-0. Avenged that loss to, Inter Miami from opening up the season. Now it's time to keep going.
They are back in first place.
Yes, they are.
In the Eastern Conference. They take on Orlando City B next Sunday at 2:00 at Historical Crew Stadium. The first of a doubleheader.
Yes.
Which we'll get into later. But one thing really quick before we move on. They're starting to pick up right where they left off before they lost to Rochester.
Yes.
If you haven't noticed that. They're picking up right where they left off, scoring goals, winning games. I honestly don't think you can stop this team. Rochester, hot take, Rochester got lucky.
Yes. And I will go out and say Rochester got lucky because Jason Russell Rowe was not there.
That's exactly what I was getting at, because Jason Russell Rowe is back. And they're just there.
It was day and night.
They can't. Jason Russell Rowe is what Giassi Zardes was to Columbus Crew originally. Yes, because he was scoring goals and he was just that guy when he first came. Now Jason Russell Rowe is essentially, I wouldn't say he's the face of the Crew, but he's the face of Crew 2.
Yes.
And getting up into that ladder, because now the MLS next academy players are going to want to model their game after him.
The two that are the face of Crew 2 right now are, well, 3 if you want to do it. It's the whole front line. Marco, Noah, and Jason.
I think you said offline the M&M line.
The MJN line.
MJN line, yeah.
The MJN
Jason,
line.
yeah. I don't know why I said M&M.
So you have those 3 right there, the captain and his 2 lieutenants.
Yes.
Because and then, you got Mo Farsi. Mo Farsi should have more assists than what he does. He's tied with 5 assists. But you get him running up that wing, coming from his back position. The way he's able to lay those balls into that front line is just unbelievable. And then you got the front line that can make all that magic happen with the, you know what I'm saying? So everybody right now is gunning for Jason and Noah, because they already know Columbus, knows those tendencies. So they know where those two players are.
Yep.
So they're starting to attack them more, which is leaving guys open like Aiden Wolf, Marco, Malou, Jake, Aiden. Everybody else is giving them a chance to actually score. And then speaking about a Kamara, JT came in late in the second half, and he laid a beautiful one for Jason Russell Rowe for his second goal of the game and to, pick up his first brace of the year. So, pick up your first brace, 5-0 shutout at home. What more fun can you have?
Well, speaking of at home, the first team is back in action this weekend.
Hey.
We get to see them after
2 weeks.
X amount. Is it two? It's been.
2 weeks.
I feel like it's been like 3 weeks. To be honest with you,
Might be 3.
Who's counting, right? Columbus Crew are back in action against Charlotte FC, who recently played yesterday. 2-0 loss over the New York Red Bulls. But this is the first official meeting between the two teams. They did play in the Carolina Challenge Cup during the preseason, but
That don't count.
Yeah, now this means something, right? So back at home at lower.com field, what are you looking forward out of this game on Saturday?
I'm looking for the momentum to keep up. We went into the international break with a 2-1 win over Atlanta in Atlanta. So now we're coming out back home. If anybody knows Crew soccer, winning on the road is hard for us. I don't know why, but it is.
It's not hard. It's non-existent. Except for that one, yes.
So, bring that momentum home. Bring it home. I'm looking forward to can we see the same room that we did? I know he's out there. I don't know if he'll be back in time coming from, playing all the friendlies. Who we're going to have in there, if it's Bush, if it's, Schulte's getting called up, or Scott, whoever it is. We just need to keep that momentum. I'm looking to see the first meeting of the new expansion team in Charlotte FC. What they're going to look like without a head coach. They have an interim right now.
Well, they recently won, so.
But you're coming into treacherous territory when it come into lower.com.
That's true. That is actually
because we
true.
all know how loud the supporter section can get.
Which I will be in on Saturday. Sorry. I have to. I'm with my mom, with some friends. I have to,
So I'm looking
take a day off of writing.
I'm looking for that, and I'm just looking to see if Coach Porter comes out with the same game plan that we had against Atlanta, or what he was able to draw up during this break.
I think my one key to the game is consistency. I think the consistency comes from both the offense and the defense. Mm-hmm. The offense in goal scoring, creating chances, and playing in wing production, right? That's something that was harped on off season from outsiders, from Porter, from everybody. Mm-hmm. I think the defense consistency comes from making those difficult challenges, putting those difficult challenges in, not letting room do all the work.
Situational awareness?
Maybe. I don't. Charlotte really doesn't. I mean, Charlotte has a couple good players, but nobody as far as like Carlos Vela and whatnot.
Still, you gotta
and you also have to, be on your toes, right? Because Charlotte does have a speedy guy in Jordi Reyna. Sorry. Can they keep him contained? But also, can they play their game, keep room from doing all the work, and put their performance in to maybe build up those chances that the offense needs to create?
I think if they can, like I said, if they could keep that momentum that they had against Atlanta, finishing off before the international break with 3 points, I think this is the turnaround time. We saw it last year at the same time around the international break. Players were hurt, players getting called up. We were right around the same position in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took off in the summertime. Players got called up. Players got hurt. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So, but now that we have Next Pro, there's a chance that, we go on that run for the first team. Now we can bring some of these guys up to cover, that are showing that they deserve at least a shot up here at the first team to cover when those spots, either somebody gets hurt or they get called up to the national teams.
It's just added depth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, a great weekend in women's soccer. Columbus Eagles draw, beating 1-1. Katie Cox gets the lone goal, but then they get an impressive 2-1 win over Century United. Alicia Donnelly got the brace, and if I read this right, they ended up finishing the match with 10 players.
So who got the yellow or who got the red?
I can't even remember, but they pretty sure they finished the game with 10 players.
That's impressive.
That is a 2-1 win against a team that we talked with Sheryl Shope, who you'll see her interview coming shortly. The weekend in Pittsburgh that they had, and I think when games like this happen, like a back-to-back and one, I tend to think, maybe fatigue plays a factor. That didn't look like to be the factor here. No way. They win 2-1 against Century United. They are back in action next Sunday at Historical Crew Stadium.
So, and that's amazing. It's wonderful for them to finally be back home where they played for a little bit. And it's amazing for the city. So they come back home and they get to put on for the city of Columbus to show what they're about and what they got. And to be a part of a doubleheader. So you got Crew 2 playing at 2 o'clock. You come out to the game, you get a 2-for-1 special. 2 games for 1 ticket. You can't beat that. So then you stay 5 o'clock. You got the Eagles. It's a great day, and it's Father's Day.
It is Father's Day. I forgot about that.
So, why not treat your dad out to a 2-for-1 soccer game?
Hey, 2-for-1 special. Let's
Hey.
go.
You
I'm definitely going to be there.
I'm anxious to see. I want to see them play.
Oh yeah.
Because we haven't been able to get out to a game yet. With our schedule.
Well, this is the perfect opportunity.
Exactly.
5 p.m. Historical Crew Stadium.
Now,
Why not?
if we could get more Sunday games with doubleheaders.
Well, I mean, that'd be cool.
It is sometime.
Eagles are 4th in the Ohio Valley Conference East Division with a 2-2-1 record. Once again, they are back at Historical Crew Stadium versus Century United, a team that they recently won 2-1 in Pittsburgh. Be sure to check that out Sunday at 5. Beforehand, Columbus Crew 2 at 2. Saturday, Columbus Crew at 7:30 at lower.com field. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out That's Debatable Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on Yamo Media, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. And be sure to check out our show Wednesdays. I can't remember. 9 a.m. Wednesdays on your morning drive on your way to work. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google. All the goodies. All the goodies. This is the Wise Men Say podcast, a Columbus Soccer podcast. Jerald Lucas for Tyler Fisher. Thank you guys for tuning in.
The corner is sent in. Into the net it is! Damani Kamara opens the scoring. His teammate number 8 swung out wide, ball in. Kamara yet again! Damani Kamara, have a day, sir! He has 2 already. Can he get a 3rd? Kamara, he can! Damani Kamara with a hat trick! 5-0 to the home side. Finds Kamara, top of the box. Kamara! Damani Kamara! Shot taken into the net! Damani Kamara! His 2nd goal of the game! 5-0 in 2 games, and Damani Kamara.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Wise Men Say podcast. We are here with a special guest, Sheryl Shope, fullback, left back.
Yep.
Pardon me for the Columbus Eagles. Sheryl, how have you been?
Good.
Good.
Coming up from a doubleheader this weekend in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in Pittsburgh this weekend.
How was Pittsburgh, by
it
the
was
way?
good. Yeah.
Good? Okay.
We tied and then won, so it was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
So getting right into it. Well, first of all, how long have you been with the Eagles?
Second year.
Second year.
Second year.
All right.
yeah.
How are you enjoying that so far?
I love it. I'm older, so college is long gone for me. So it's nice to continue playing and
Okay.
at a competitive level, and I've enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said competitive.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges of being a WPSL player?
So it's semi-pro, so it's hard to get a consistent team for games sometimes because you got professional athletes that get paid to be there. It's all our time. Everything gets supplied for us, but we have to volunteer our time to do it. So that's a little challenge there, but yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
One big thing that I am, kind of talking about is turf.
Yeah.
How is the development on turf for semi-pro, and how does it maybe affect you in the long run?
Yeah, it's harder to play on turf than grass. The ball moves quicker. Your feet burn in the heat quite a bit. It gives you a lot worse turf burn, when you fall and stuff. And I'm excited to play this weekend at the historic Crew Stadium because we're going to be on grass. I'm really, really looking forward to that. But yeah, turf is a little difficult with that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So speaking of actually being back at historical Crew Stadium, what does it mean for the team to finally be back home?
I think it's great because you have that environment when we're playing, we're at Capitol right now for our home games, but it's a completely different environment when you're at a stadium like that. Grass, food, drinks, that brings people there to watch and also enjoy themselves, not just watch soccer, and spend time with their friends and their family, eating, drinking, watching soccer. So, and it's a bigger stadium, so you have a lot more room for a lot more people. Yeah, it's a cool place to play and perform for our fans.
With the adjustment going from Capitol to historical Crew Stadium, is there more of a adjustment time for you to kind of, feel where you're going to be at as far as dimension wise of the pitch?
Yeah, probably. I'm not sure the size difference specifically, but yeah, it's going to, and the stadium itself is a lot bigger too. So it'll feel a little like we're a little bit smaller there, but I like to run. Our team likes to run. So we're ready to go and play on a bigger field like that.
What are some, with you being on there for the second, your second year, what are some goals that you had from last season to now that you are either still tackling or trying to improve to accomplish?
Personally, I was a forward my whole life, so I've been in fullback, lefty for the Eagles, which has been just a mindset change there for me personally. So I've been looking forward to developing myself in that position more. As a team, we want to win. We're a great team, but we just haven't gotten to that last piece of winning. We dominate on the field most of the time, keep the possession of the ball, but making those goals and winning those games is something that we need to do, and we've started to do this weekend. So I hope we continue it next weekend.
So you had a doubleheader in Pittsburgh, right? Or was it Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Or? Okay.
Yeah.
When you play teams back to back, right? Do you see something that you may have not seen before?
Yeah.
And how do you adjust to that? Do you is it, hey, girls, did they do this, that they didn't do last game?
Right.
What's that adjustment like for you guys to go from one game to another?
Yeah, so we played Beetling last weekend, and then we played them on Saturday. So we were able to identify some key players of theirs to kind of figure out how they play and how to mark and how to press and everything like that. So then going in that second game, we were more familiar, and we're able to adjust how we're defending or who we're defending and when, to be able to make a difference in that second game. So the team that we played on Sunday, we're playing this coming weekend, so we're going to be a little bit prepared for how they play.
Century United, right?
Yeah, Century United. Mm-hmm.
Chemistry. What has been like this year?
We've had several key players that have been pretty consistent, but again, like I said, it was semi-pro. It's hard to get those players to consistently volunteer their time to play. So we do have about like half of the starters that end up being switching up a little bit. Like I think Saturday and Sunday, comparatively with our players, we had like 5 girls that were there Saturday, weren't there Sunday, and vice versa. So the chemistry is growing a little bit. I think we're starting to get some chemistry, but it's kind of hard to develop when you don't have that consistency. But a few of us have played together for a while in order to be able to kind of get there when we are on the pitch together.
You said you were missing a piece to get like a win to get those. What can you identify, kind of without giving too much away? Obviously, can you identify maybe what it is, or maybe what you're looking forward to getting to complete that piece?
Yeah, I think just personally looking at it, I think it's like just that last aggressive push toward scoring a goal, I guess, or keeping a goal from being scored on us. You know, making that diving tackle or giving it your all when you're trying to score that goal.
So situational awareness.
Yeah.
See, really, you said you played forward.
Yeah.
Did you score any like remarkable goals?
I remember a few. A few come to my mind. Yeah.
What's your favorite one?
In college we were I think tied, or it was just 0-0. There was 28 seconds left on the clock, and my defender just hit a long ball. She knew I was fast, and I ran up there and I jumped over the goalie and tapped it in, but the goalie took me out. And yeah, it was good though. We won the game, and it was a meaningful game. Like, it meant something. I cannot even remember. College was a while ago, but that's one that sticks in my mind.
Any crazy celebration dances that you do?
No. I'm a little too
laid back.
I'm just like, yes, and that's it.
So just keeping it a little friendly. Who's the fastest on the team? You say you like to run fast, so
I think I'm pretty fast. We have Jillian Lucy. I cannot pronounce her last name, but she's very fast as well. Lacey's really fast. Madison's fast. Alicia's fast. We have several fast players on our team.
No competitions yet out
I
there?
don't know. It depends.
Well, Sheryl, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
In your next game. Sheryl Shope, fullback for the Columbus Eagles. You guys can catch her next Sunday at Historical Crew Stadium at 5 p.m. as they take on Central United. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Wise Men Say podcast, along with another special guest, Mark Wise, head coach for the Columbus Eagles. Mark, how have you been today?
I'm good.
Good. So a little bit about you. You've been with the team since its inception. How has that been? How's that been coming along?
Well, I started the team in 2013, and it has gone through a lot of growth and change over the years. Some ups and some downs, and right now I feel like coming off this last weekend, I'm on quite a high with where we're going and what I've seen. The quality of play is just amazing now. So over the years, it's been an interesting ride.
A couple impressive results coming your way. What does that say about the team's growth throughout the season?
Well, I think some of the coaching that has been going on, Coach Matt has been doing a lot of good work with them and instilling a style of play that is really nice to watch and exciting to watch. And I think it's coming together. There's people that are taking that to heart and putting it on the field. And I mean, the Saturday game, we were afraid the number of players that we could get there. And so we were just asking and asking and asking. We finally put together a roster of 14. And so we figured we were just going to give them a game, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Just give them a game. But then we go up there and this group of girls they just come together. And they start playing soccer. And I'm just sitting back there and just watching this happen and thinking, man, I would pay money to see this. And we were up 1-0 up until the 90th plus minute. And they snuck one in and tied us on Saturday. But still, I was not expecting that result at all. And I just can't say how much I really like the style of play and the energy these ladies bring to the game. It's an amazing thing to watch.
So, Coach, after bouncing around from different fields, from Otterbein Capital, Wellington School, Historical Crew Stadium, what has been the difference in coaching on the different turfs?
Well, in the early days, we just found green space where we could train and practice, and we were lucky enough to play on a field like Wellington for a season or two. Then we went into Otterbein, and it was great because of the stands and the other facilities we could provide. But we always like to look for a place where we can play our games and be near a community. And Capital at least gives us the capability that somebody could walk down the street and find a restaurant or find a bar or whatever and come early and enjoy that part of the deal and then walk down to our game or stay after the game and hang out somewhere. The Historic Crew Stadium is kind of an island in itself, and Otterbein, even though it's in Westerville, it was a bit of a walk to get downtown. And so Capital is not a bad space for us right now for that purpose. I'd love to be down in the lower.com stadium, but
have all the sound just bounce down.
Oh, absolutely. I love that stadium. They did a great job designing that and putting it together. Just ain't one day.
Yeah, right. You in general, how would you best describe your coaching style?
Well, I have to clarify, that Matt is the head coach this year.
Okay.
I was coaching last year, and I had coached in the past, so I can speak to history here. But Matt Ogden is the current coach this year. But I'm a laid-back guy, and sometimes my coaching style doesn't line up with some players' expectations. A lot of players like to be yelled at, screamed at, called out, those kind of things. But I did all my coaching education through the United States Soccer Federation, and I read a lot of books on the guys that coached the women's national team. And a lot of them, like Tony Tachiko wrote a book that said, catch them being good. Rather than spending the time pointing out their failures, most of us know when we do our failures. But you gotta find the times when they did something really good and remind them that was really good. Because, somebody tells you that you did something great 99 times, and then one time somebody tells you that you did something bad, you usually remember that one time rather than the 99 times that you were told you did good. So my style has much been around the idea of encouraging and catch them being good. And I feel like a lot of times in the Eagles program, we bring in some athletes who have played Division I soccer, and they're somewhat damaged. They've been pushed hard. They've been mistreated in some ways, mentally or physically. And some of them just don't have a love of the game anymore. And one thing that really brings some joy to me is when we have a player that comes in tentatively and says, I would like to play or whatever. But yet they come in and then they start blossoming again, and they realize that the Eagles is a fun place to play. Yeah, we work hard and we expect things out of our ladies, but it's not like the environment that some of these ladies have been in, either in their high-level clubs or in the Division I, where they're just demanded things from them. So I love it when I have players that come back and say, I've found my love of the game again.
You mentioned having players play D1 come to the Eagles. Do you see a difference in playing styles, maybe from maybe how they were coached from a D1 school to now playing in WPSL?
I don't know. I think the question there is, I see D1 players, D2 players, D3 players, NAIA players, and some players that never played college that are all quality athletes. Some of them chose to go Division I for whatever reason, either because that was their dream or it paid their college or whatever. But we have some other athletes that are Division II, III, and one player that never played college that is right up there with the rest of them. I feel like the difference that I see is the burnout factor. The Division I athlete, a lot of times when they are done playing, there are so many players here in Columbus from a Division I program that have finished their college career and said, I'm done. I don't want to ever play again. And I reach out to them and say, come on out, play for us. They said, no, I don't want to ever play soccer again. Whereas I don't usually get that from the Division II, Division III, NAIA players, that they still love the game and still want to play. So I'd say the big difference for me is the Division I guys just seem like they're beat up a lot of times and have to do a little rehabilitation sometimes.
So, Coach, you touched on it a little bit about the being around a community, and then also some of the D1 players and some of these other players that have burned out. What would you say to some of these women out here that are maybe thinking about getting back to the glory days with soccer? What would you say to them right now?
I'd say come on out and train. You don't have to make any commitment at this point. When you join the team, we do ask you to, say, hey, we want you to come to practices. We want you to come to every game. We'd like you to represent us, like Sheryl did coming out to represent the club here to grow the game. But they can simply come on out and train a few days and just, put your toe in the water, see what it's like, see if this is the environment that would bring your love of the game back. But yeah, just come on out, give it a go. Don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like, what if I don't make it? I had one lady that I recruited years ago that was she was an All-American, had played here in Columbus, and I said, why don't you come play for me? And she says, well, what if I don't make it? All my life I've always been the top dog, and now I'm a little bit rusty. I'm a little bit out of my game, and it's like I'm afraid. And I said, you don't need to be afraid. But she never did come out. But that shocked me a little bit in their concern or their fear of saying, well, what if I'm not the best? And I say, just come on out and give it a go, and we'll see.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us on the Wise Men Say podcast. You can watch Mark, Matt, and the Columbus Eagles next Sunday at Historical Crew Stadium, 5 p.m., as they take on Century United. We'll be right back after this. You can catch new episodes of the Wise Men Say podcast every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And, Jerald, what do Wise Men say?
Only fools rush in.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
See you next week.